Voting is important. Both parties aren't the same. Your vote does matter.
What up, everybody? You're listening to the Commercial Boys in cool, crisp audio, hopefully.
Yeah, we hope. We have no guarantees that it'll be actually cool or
assuming
crisp.
that I'm competent enough to use the new mics that we have.
And assuming that our laptops can hold the massive amounts of storage required for all of these bytes. We're going to come to you with cool, crisp new microphones.
What the fuck are you listening to? Excellent question. We're the Commercial Boys. I'm Commercial Boy Dan.
I'm Commercial Boy Jacob Berkowitz.
So today we're looking at a very, very special type of commercial.
What makes it special, Dan?
It's a political ad, Jacob.
Oh, no!
No! Yeah, what up, everybody? It's 2018. We got midterms coming.
And everyone's favorite type of really on-the-nose and predictable commercials come in the form of political ads.
Political ads! Yeah, man. Here's the deal.
Okay.
I think that we're gonna be super partisan the whole time.
Yeah, we're not going to make any pretenses about where we're at politically. Labels are dumb, so I'm not going to tell you I'm like a social democrat or a Democrat.
Labels are dumb, so I'm just gonna tell you that I'm gonna be eating some rich people in like 6 months. That's all I'll say.
And I'll say that I've been reading Das Kapital in the very recent past, not ironically, and not to do any like enemy opposition understanding, just because I'm genuinely interested, and I think Karl Marx is a foundational thinker. So that's where we're at politically. We don't like Republicans. It's a quote. To quote Lady Bird,
that's
just don't be a Republican. Yeah, that's where we're at politically. I have no idea what kind of ads we're looking at, though, specifically if they're going to be on whatever end of the spectrum.
Before I came over here to the official Commercial Boys headquarters, aka Jake's attic,
Yeah.
I watched I would say 20 political ads. I just
For scouting
rapidly
purposes?
watch them. Yeah.
Okay.
Just rapid fire, and then I took a 15-minute break, and the ones that I still remembered
That's the ones
are the
we're
ones that I
gonna watch.
wrote down, and I selected 6 of them. We might end up doing more depending on timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got 6 ads that made an impression on me.
And I, once again, as per usual, have no idea which ads Daniel has selected and what I'm going to be looking at. So what are we looking at first? What is the first ad we're going to be running into?
So the very first ad, so me and Jacob, we're both from Strong Island.
Strong Island, New York, baby.
New York 4, to be exact.
That's our district?
That's
yes.
our district.
Yes. Who is our current representative, Dan Feingold?
Representative,
I think it's Todd Kaminsky.
Congresswoman Kathleen Rice.
Oh, okay. Todd Kaminsky maybe... I don't know what he is. Never mind. I know he's something for us, but I don't know who he is.
We're watching a Kathleen Rice ad.
Yeah!
Yeah! So it's called Grade. So if you wanna watch this one,
just the ad itself is... Oh, on YouTube it's just called Grade.
It's just called Grade.
Who's
It's
it uploaded
uploaded by Kathleen Rice for Congress.
Okay.
It's 30 seconds long. You ready?
Let's give it a watch.
Oh, say, can you?
All right, Jake.
That was super duper rough.
Super duper rough. You laughed during it, so I thought that you were enjoying it.
I laughed because, okay, here's the thing. I will start by saying I don't disagree with what the crux of the ad was. It's just every Democrat manages to be the lamest fucking person and put their own feet up their own ass so thoroughly. It's embarrassing. You want to give the crowd a plot summary of what we just witnessed?
Okay, so we'll talk plot. So we got a cold open on Kathleen Rice in a very, very well lit room.
Ostensibly,
unreal lit room. It's just the ceiling is just sunroof, I guess.
We're led to believe I think it's her, or we're supposed to infer that it's her super well lit room with windows
not
everywhere.
fancy.
No, it's just a nice suburban house.
She ain't rich. It's just fancy.
What was I going to say? You've seen Sorry to Bother You, or no?
I have not.
Okay, it's aspirationally well lit. It's the white voice of rooms where even if you don't have it, you want to believe that you can get to that really nicely well lit room. That's a reference for all those 5 people who saw Sorry to Bother You.
Okay, great. So
Give me more plot.
Kathleen Rice starts off being relatable right off the bat.
Yes.
She goes, yo, what up? I'm Irish Catholic. How many kids I got?
Way too many.
It's 9.
That's
She's got
so many.
9 siblings, not kids.
That's too many
She has
siblings.
9 siblings.
Because she's Irish Catholic and they just fuck
immediately,
constantly.
I, as a drone, am like, wow.
As an NPC?
She is. I go, wow, she is just like me. She can have my vote.
It's okay. So what is the ad like? What is her position
And
that she's rallying for?
There's
in
like
this one?
quirky music the entire time.
Yeah, but what is
It goes boo, beep boo, boo, boo. Bah, 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 bah.
Fun fact.
It does sound a little bit like the Miiverse music.
Fun fact, Dan, on a Film 48 short film that we made, he composed the music. Those are his compositional skills right there, going boop, beep, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
boop,
you know, I was just born. I was just born, and like I can hear a tune, and then like 13 months later, I can just play it back on a saxophone. No formal training at all. Just YouTube tutorials for me.
Just YouTube. How you learn everything.
No, well, Kathleen Rice, she talks about like various accomplishments she's had.
She was a really good student,
She was a good student.
but she got one F.
What's her 1F?
She got an F from the NRA.
From the NRA. And you know what? Is she ashamed of it?
No.
No.
You know what? She shouldn't be. I agree.
She's proud of it.
I would be okay if voting for people who had Fs from the NRA. I want to vote for people who the NRA don't like, because the NRA is a terrorist organization that just puts propaganda out there against, against people who don't like guns. Or they claim that everyone who doesn't wholeheartedly, full-throatedly support gun rights is come and take your guns. So yeah, anyone who doesn't get along with the NRA is fine by me. But that's my point. Like,
Not a good organization. Yeah. What is your point?
my point is that not that I disagree with her stance. I agree that like I'm happy that someone who's running for Senate is a bad grade from the NRA. It's just
It's the House, but yeah.
the House, excuse me. It's just that it's the most generic ad I've ever seen. All political ads are boring and
Right.
samey.
This was not a ballsy ad in any way, and it's. I understand what you're saying, because it's frustrating when we're in like a climate where like Republicans are like just going off the rails, like not holding back any sort of insanity whatsoever, just like putting their wildest, most crazy pie in the sky like legislative ideas out there, whether they're popular or not.
And she's just like, I got an F from
Democrats
the
have
NRA.
ideas that are actually popular, though.
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, most people don't like the NRA. Most people do want common sense gun legislation. But, like, yeah, I agree with you. Democrats aren't really super willing to, like, go out on a limb and advocate
For anything
it
radical.
in a particularly extreme way. And I don't even think that it's radical.
No,
which
that's
I
the
mean,
thing. You
like,
just said
further,
people want this thing.
Yeah. So
It was a boring ad, and it wasn't. It doesn't effectively communicate any interesting, new, or inspiring idea. It's just, I want to say Kathleen Kennedy, but I know it's not Kathleen Kennedy. It's Kathleen Rice, I think. She's just like, yeah, the NRA doesn't like me. No legislation being supported. Just like, vote for me. This part thing that I can turn into a monolith that you don't like doesn't like me. And I mean fair. Like, I don't disagree with her, just it was lame. It was just lame.
That's fair, but it also gets into the question of like the purpose of and the effectiveness of political ads in general. Because
who is this going to change the mind of?
Like, you literally don't have time to like go through your policy agenda and like accomplishments.
No, she's not interesting in this commercial. She's not inspiring. She's not motivational. This commercial isn't going to make anyone of like the 2/3 of this country who doesn't want to vote. It's not going to make anyone go vote. It's not going to make anyone go vote for her. If you were going to vote for a Democrat, you didn't need to see this commercial to make you want to vote for not Kathleen Kennedy, Kathleen Rice.
Yeah, that's a true point. So I think I know the answer, but based on this ad, would you vote for Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah, of course. I'm assuming unless there's a further left candidate running. But this is not the primaries. This is the general election where she's running against a Republican, and you can't vote for a Republican. You cannot vote for a
If there's
Republican.
one thing you should take away from this podcast,
Don't do that.
don't do that.
All right, what's coming
Man,
up
you know,
next?
we're 6 episodes in. This is a really great time to, like, alienate a portion of our 8 listeners.
I mean, what are the chances that the 8 listeners are A, people who don't already know us and know exactly what we stand
That's
for,
fair.
or B, found this and were listening to us because they're like, huh, wow, I think they're probably conservative people. They're probably, like, either center or right.
Yeah, you know, I think a better question is, what are the chances that I give a fuck?
Yeah, honestly.
0!
We're not making this. We're not making these podcasts to make millions
This
of dollars.
isn't for you.
It's really not. It's not for anyone.
Jake have an excuse to hang out.
A little bit.
You're just here.
That was so sad and so true. Fun fact: Dan and I have been like good or best friends since like 2nd grade. We hang out maybe once when we're not actually like making a podcast.
Yeah, all our interactions are fake. We've sold our souls for the 8 of you.
We can't actually motivate ourselves to hang out with one another unless we're trying to like construct something that isn't abstract, like a friendship or a relationship.
What would you rate this at?
At a scale of what to what, Dan?
On a scale of guns to a lack of birth control.
They're all bad. A lack of birth control and guns are both bad. This is a terrible scale. How about, would I vote for her or not? Yes. Do I think this is a good commercial? No. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm voting for Kathleen Kennedy. Honestly, I don't care what her commercial was.
Next commercial, Daniel!
Alright!
By the dawn's early light.
Okay, so we just watched a commercial.
What's the name?
It's called Is Ted Cruz Tough as Texas?
Who uploaded it?
Fire Ted Cruz.
Fire him!
Fire him!
Alright, so I guess I'll take the reins on
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
one. It's not a pro any candidate commercial, it is an anti-Ted Cruz commercial.
So it's pro Beto O'Rourke.
It's pro Beto O'Rourke, of course. It features an older white gentleman. He looks like a Vietnam War vet. There's nothing that implies that he is.
He doesn't tell us, but you know.
I guess that he's a Vietnam War vet. And he's just sitting there in a diner, drinking his coffee, and just talking shit about Ted Cruz, saying like
It's so casual. It's like
it's just a personal one-on-one interview.
he's like your uncle who you just like met up because you happen to be in
town. You're staying by his place, and he's picking you up.
And he's like,
from
I
the
read
bus
this
stop."
article on Facebook. You seen this?
He's talking about how Donald Trump said that Ted Cruz's dad helped murder Kennedy and called Ted Cruz's wife a dog.
All true.
And now Ted Cruz is being like, I love Donald Trump. He's the man. And the old, not a Vietnam War vet, but I know he's a Vietnam War vet, was just like, Ted Cruz is an idiot. And I can't believe it. And he says, come on, Ted. And it made me laugh. It's a better commercial than the last one I just saw.
It is, yeah.
It doesn't
I'd agree with
advocate
that.
for any policy. It's not even pro any candidate. It's just genuinely funny. It's different. It is a negative ad, but it's like a funny ad.
Yeah, and at the end it explicitly says that it's not paid for by any candidate.
Or endorsed by anyone.
Yeah.
It's just paid for by a PAC, which, I mean, get PACs out of government, but like, this is a good
But
commercial.
at the end of the day, it's a pretty good commercial.
I think it's really effective for
Yeah,
Beto
I
O'Rourke
think-
especially, because Beto's, I think one of his chief challenges is that he could be perceived as like a coastal liberal in a state that's traditionally tough and strong and gritty and country, and this is a stereotypically country looking tough as nails guy who's
Pointing
telling
out
you
quite accurately that
that
Ted Cruz is
a
not any of
lame
those things.
loser who doesn't represent Texas's qualities or what Texas believes to be its own qualities.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite, like, political ads, not like a commercial, but there was a billboard that just had, like, a tweet from Donald Trump saying that Ted Cruz is a liar who will do anything to get elected.
Which is true.
Which
he
is
will.
something that he tweeted, and yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz's chief political victory, like his biggest claim to fame, is the government shutdown in 2014. That's the best thing he's accomplished in his time in the Senate. He's shit. Vote for Beto O'Rourke, because if Texas won't take him, I'd be okay if he were the Democratic candidate. He's not my first choice, but as far as like mainstream Democrats go, he's not bad. I'd take Beto. I'd take him. Texas don't want him. I'd take him.
Slogan. I'd take Beto.
I would take him if the Texans don't want him. I'll take him.
This commercial was directed by Richard Linklater.
I believe. Was it? Wait, no. That's not a joke, was it?
That's a true fact.
I knew it. I love it.
Did you know it? Did you know it?
I did, because I know that Richard Linklater's super Texas. Like, he played for University of Texas's college team. In Boyhood, there's a scene where Ethan Hawke takes, I forget what the kid actor's name is, but they're just putting up Obama street, yard signs. Mm-hmm. And I heard that Richard Linklater directed
in Waking
commercial.
Life, another Richard Linklater.
Alex Jones
is in it. Mm-hmm. Alex Jones, also a Texas native.
That's super sad. That's a sadder part.
Well, I think he was funnier back then.
Was he?
Alex Jones.
Was there a point in time where he wasn't just
Well, there was a point in time where he was more of a joke and not someone who the president got news from.
Where, like, mainstream anti-Semitic rhetoric was, like, planted in InfoWars and it became mainstream.
Yeah,
That's
so
fucking terrifying.
Director of School of Rock. Also director of this anti-Ted Cruz commercial.
I'm thrilled. It's well done. One of Richard Linklater's best films in all of my in honesty. And he's directed some great films, like the Before trilogy's great, Boyhood's great, Everybody Wants Some, great. This is among his finest work. I like it.
Would you vote for someone who isn't Ted Cruz based on this commercial?
Absolutely. Anyone who's not Ted Cruz. Anyone who's not Ted Cruz 2018. Mark it! Mark it, Becky!
Yeah, Ted Cruz is an awful man.
Ted Cruz sucks. He's slimy. He's a lizardman. Don't vote for him. Dan, what would you rate this commercial on a scale of 1 to lizardman?
Okay, I do have a little bit of issue with this commercial.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I don't dislike it. I do think it's a little bit, I don't know, condescending maybe?
Oh,
Just
elaborate.
like, oh, well, Texans sure are tough. And if you want to be a big, tough Texan boy, you'd better not vote for Ted. He's not strong, and Texas is tough. Don't be wimpy. I'm certainly from Texas.
Oh, okay. So it kind of indulges in this, like, idea of toxic masculinity that, like, Texan culture has kind of, like, internalized.
There's a little bit of toxic masculinity, maybe. And then, but I think above that, my issue is just that it's like...
is a hallmark of Linklater films, this kind of dealing with internalized toxic masculinity.
Interesting.
A lot of his, Dazed and Confused and Everybody Wants Some, they are criticized as being, like, pretty, like, male-centric, not really focused on the female perspective, and kind of, like, grappling with the boys will be boys narrative in a kind of a nostalgic way that maybe... like papers over the more like rapey aspects of like toxic masculinity.
Yeah, here are us, the commercial boys, telling you, society, that you've got to be more gender inclusive.
There's a girl in the room right now.
There's
it's
a
fine.
girl in the room.
So we can talk about whatever we want. Goddammit.
We're basically
we're feminists.
We're
There's
exactly a silent woman in the room with us,
watching over us, making sure we don't say anything too fucking
not
stupid.
speaking but present and not acknowledged whatsoever. We're feminist heroes.
So, okay, no, I buy it, and I believe it.
Yeah, it's not even just the toxic masculinity. I think a lot of ads are just, like, trying too hard, and I think this has a little bit of that. It is funny, and I do like it overall, but just, like...
You can criticize the things you like.
Yeah,
you should criticize
I just
the
think
things you like.
it's really trying to, like, convince us that, like, this dude knows Texas. Yeah. And I don't believe it.
No.
I don't believe that dude knows Texas.
Oh, I don't want someone who knows Texas.
That dude's
Texas
an actor.
Is bad.
Like, that guy doesn't fight people.
No, he don't, but that's okay. Texas is
he
a bad
auditioned.
place.
He said, "Hi, my name is Samuel. I'm auditioning for the part of Tough Texas." Okay, I'll start now. Okay. I'm from Texas, and I sure am tough.
Well, you know
and
what?
I don't like Ted.
Richard Linklater's always done a fantastic job casting his movies. So, you know what? He still does a good job here.
I do think he was well casted. I don't think it's...
the problem isn't the casting.
Yeah.
I buy it, and I buy this idea that, like, I've never seen a political commercial that I mean, part of politics is that you can't be too cool for anyone's vote, because then you're kind of inviting them not to vote. Or if you're saying, like, if you don't vote for me, that's fine too, that can also be read as condescending in that I don't need your vote.
Right. Yeah, I guess, I mean, political ads are inherently gonna have an element of that
Condescension and pandering.
It just bothers me.
I was actually thinking of,
but
like,
I mean,
a
it's
way
inherent to the medium.
I was trying to think of a way to make a political ad that is neither condescending nor patronizing nor, like, cloying, but it's kind of impossible.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that's a good segue to the next ad that we're gonna check out.
Wait.
Yeah. What's
Rate the commercial.
Oh,
on a
what's
scale
the
of 1 to
scale,
Lizardman.
1 to Lizardman. It's I mean, I'm not rating Ted Cruz.
Rate the
Because
commercial.
Ted Cruz is a straight up crocodile.
Okay, so the commercial on a 1 to Waking Life.
Okay, I think Waking Life is a really good movie. I'm gonna have to give it. Is Scanner Darkly Richard Linklater?
Yes, it
I'm gonna
is.
have to
I was
give it a
thinking,
Scanner
I knew
Darkly.
you would give it a Scanner Darkly.
Not quite Waking Life, but pretty good.
But good.
Yeah. Okay. So the next commercial that we're gonna check out is called "Refereeing Washington." It's uploaded by Curbelo TV, no space, Curbelo TV. All right, we're gonna check it out.
Alrighty.
Was so hell is twilight.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
We just watched another ad.
For Camila Cabello.
Yeah. or something like that. Was that his name? I know his last name
No,
was
Camila
Curbelo.
Cabello is a pop star.
It was Carlos. His name was Carlos Curbelo.
Carbello?
Curbelo?
Kirby's Dreamland.
Kirby.
Kirby Puckett got a political commercial. You want to take the reins on this one?
Okay, so Carlos Kirby.
Carlos Curb.
Says, my first job was a basketball referee. And he's in a high school gymnasium, I guess.
probably a high school
or
gym.
a gym or something.
It's probably a high school
And he's
gym.
shooting hoops the whole time as he's having a chat with us.
Shooting some b-ball outside the school.
Again, very chill, very loose, just
Yeah.
having a conversation with Carlos.
Throws a towel over his shoulder at some point.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't think we actually see him sink anything, because every time he shoots, it cuts away
Cuts to
to a
something
ball
else.
landing in the hoop.
No. He definitely didn't sink an entire shot the entire day they recorded the
But
commercial.
as he moves, he does look like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got some grace.
So I
He's got some
believe that he
athleticism.
actually knows how to play basketball.
Probably. I
and-
believe that he was a referee at some point in
Yeah,
his life.
no, I don't think he's lying about that.
Yeah.
And the whole framing device is that, just as he was a fair referee in basketball,
He's gonna be a
making
fair ref in DC.
in Congress.
Yeah.
He mentions that he called out Democrats when they weren't.
Working on a DACA solution for him.
Yeah, and he called out Republicans when they weren't doing enough for school safety or environmental protection
Or anything else.
or anything. And then he goes, "I'll always make the right call."
And I think my first point that I want to make is you never figure out whether or not he's a Democrat
Which
or a Republican.
I think is a good thing.
I think we listen to the same 538 politics podcast where they talk about how both parties like poll really poorly. Like if neither Democrats nor Republicans poll well when you ask people what your favorability of them are.
Right, there are going to be either way. There's going to be a ton of people who are very anti
whatever party,
and a couple of people who are pro.
So the idea that he's nonpartisan, I don't even know what state he's running for.
It is Florida.
It's Florida.
I don't believe.
Is it
that
Florida? Then
says
it's even smarter because Florida is a toss-up state.
He's in Miami.
Oh, even smarter.
I'm not sure if the commercial said that or if I just looked that up. But
Either way, that information makes it even smarter because that's a toss-up state. That's a purple state. It can go either way. It is a smart commercial as far as political commercials go. It's creatively framed. It's not super generic or cloying. It's a very safe, smart commerol.
yeah, I liked this one. I thought this was one of the better commercials that I watched, and in a time where there's like so much hyper partisanship, I think it's a wise move to
That being said,
just mention that like you like policies that are
good.
not even necessarily popular though. That's the thing. Like I don't think like DACA is
Super popular?
super popular. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really checked out polling.
No.
I don't know if environmental protection is, like, the most popular issue either.
No, it should be,
No,
but it's
of course.
not, like, if you ask Democrats what the big issue is, it's healthcare.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the big issue for Republicans are. Probably
Those are gonna
I think
be up
it's-
there.
I think it's immigration.
Immigration, yeah.
I think immigration. So,
At this point, yeah.
like, say, like, the two things he picked aren't, like, super popular necessarily.
Yeah, I feel like he really honestly let his personality show through in this commercial. This one is like, it didn't feel fake at all. It didn't feel pandery.
That being said, being a centrist, I think, is super dumb and stupid, and I don't like that.
I mean,
like, saying there
Yeah.
are good points on both sides. Both people
well,
make...
that's not necessarily what he said. Is that there are bad points on both sides.
That's true.
He's like, Democrats did this stupid thing, and I called them idiots. Then Republicans did this idiotic thing, and I called them
idiots.
stupid.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with him that Democrats in Congress are stupid. I think a lot of Democrats in Congress are super stupid. I guess, yeah, it's just a smart commercial as far as it goes, but don't be a centrist. Is the point I'm trying to
What party
make.
do you think he's in? Make a guess.
Probably a Republican.
Yeah, he's a Republican.
I knew it.
I mean,
I knew
yeah.
he was a centrist.
I mean, I get what you're
Or,
saying about
like-
both sides wanting to hide it, but I think at this point, Republicans are.
They have to hide it
I think
more.
objectively, I read something about how Republicans are being less open about how they're Republican. Like,
Yeah.
they're not saying up front that they're Republican in
Being
their ads as
Republican
often.
is even less popular than being Democrat.
Yeah.
More people are Democrats, and also no one likes Republican policy. No one. Like, if you do, you do, but, like, know that you're in the vast minority of Americans. Very few people think that there should be no common sense gun legislation. Very few people are anti-marijuana. Very few people are against protecting pre-existing conditions. It's just, your policies are bad if you believe in the Republican agenda, and you're bad. Dan, what would you rate this
I'm not going
commercial?
to disagree with you.
I was trying to get you to say anything to move on past what I
No,
said.
I'm going to let you
dig my own holes.
Yeah, no, you'll dig the hole, and I'll cheer you on.
Okay. Just from the sidelines, as far away as you need to be.
I'll silently nod.
Do you have anything more to say about this commercial? Because quite frankly, I think we agreed that it's a well-made
No,
commercial.
yeah, no, I think that this is a good commercial. I think I said everything that I have to say about this commercial.
Yeah. Actually, because you held the reins, I think you're supposed to give me the scale.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't think of a scale, and now I want you to think of a scale.
Okay, on a scale...
Oh, I got a scale. I got a basketball scale.
Oh, boy.
On a scale of the Atlanta Hawks, which are a bad team, to the Golden State Warriors, which are a good team, what would you rank this commercial?
I'd forego the basketball entirely and replace it with a planet that's on fire. Because we're sitting on our asses while the planet gets damaged irreparably.
That's not a scale.
I thought it was a good commercial.
I did too. Next one. Dan.
Yeah! This is a wild one.
Tell me the name. Of the
Oh, right.
commercial.
The name of the commercial is Take Him at His Word.
Where was it uploaded?
It's
Who was
uploaded
it
by Mr. Chris Collins.
Mr. Chris Collins.
By Chris Collins.
Okay.
Senator Chris Collins.
Ah,
No, he's not senator. I think he's in the House. Yeah, he is in
Representative
the House. Representative Chris Collins.
Jesus fucking Christ! I'll take the reins.
Yeah, go for it.
Some schmo named Nate McMurray. I think that was Nate McMurray in the commercial.
Yeah, it
right?
was, because it says actual footage of Nate McMurray. They wanted to make it really clear that it's not doctored, it's not CGI, it's actually him. And what is the horrible thing he's doing?
I think he's getting... They implied that he's, like, in cahoots with the Chinese
Because
and
he's
North
speaking
Korea.
Chinese. That's an actual video of him speaking another language.
Nate McMurray looks like he's, like, a 23-year-old frat boy.
He's bilingual and can't be trusted.
I think the implication is that he's in cahoots with the Chinese and Korean government.
He's bilingual.
He probably...
He has a penis and a vagina.
He's probably just someone who thinks that it's okay for immigrants to come over. I'm not gonna dignify what you've just said, Daniel. I can't think.
Well, the commercial is just
It's
this
so
dude, I
bad.
don't know what he's doing. He's saying, I guess he's saying,
It
hi,
starts with him bowing,
my name
right?
is, yeah.
It
Nate
starts with him like
McMurray.
doing a racist bow.
Well,
thing.
I don't think it's. I don't know what's going on. I think that what's happening is that Nate McMurray made a commercial for like a Chinese businessman or something, where he speaks
Chinese
in Chinese a little bit. I don't know if it's Chinese or if it's Korean. I'm not sure. But I think it's actual footage that Chris Collins found of him speaking another language, and Chris Collins went, "Oh, this is gold." So he puts
Anyone
a
who
picture
doesn't
of
speak
Kim
English.
Jong-un's face on the screen and talks about how this dude wants to give American jobs to Asian people.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's one of the most baffling commercials I watched.
It's really pandering to people's fears of others and racial fears. It's the worst of political. It is one of the worst political commercials I've ever seen. It's really saddening and disheartening. I would recommend that nobody watch it. We did it so you don't have to. Don't vote for, what was his name? Chris Collins. Chris Collins.
Another reason not to vote for Chris Collins. In August, he got charged for insider trading.
Don't vote for Chris
So
Collins.
don't vote for Chris Collins.
Vote for Nate McMurray for, what is he running for?
I think House in New York.
Vote for Nate McMurray? Mm-hmm. For the House in New York, guys. Please don't vote for Chris Collins, not Chris Collinsworth, the guy who does like football on Sunday nights on NBC.
You can vote for that guy.
Better than the guy who got caught insider fucking trading.
Got charged for insider trading.
How is he still allowed to run? What?
There's not. That's allowed. You
Yeah,
can commit a crime and run. You
was I
just
gonna
can't
say?
commit a crime and vote.
I heard that's, by the way, fucking another thing to talk about is how after people get out of jail,
Another problem we're going to solve on this podcast.
when people get out of jail, after they've served their time, a lot of states, they still can't vote, which seems silly. I understand that, they committed a crime, they forfeited their right to vote. They did their fucking time, they should vote, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that you should vote for not Chris Collins, because he's a badman. What?
He's a badman. And I don't know anything about McMurphy, but he's at least
Randall McMurray.
he's at least a little bit bilingual, so he's got to be smart.
Yeah, to learn another language is hard. What was I gonna say? Can we talk about just like the aesthetics of the commercial? It looks like
It was
really
ugly.
It was an ugly commercial. If we're talking just about the way it looks, it's got like ugly colors.
The art for this episode looks better than that commercial did.
The Photoshop Dan did really, really good, especially when compared to that. It looks ugly. It's shot ugly. It's got ugly messaging
Well, yeah,
behind
they're
it. It
using
plays on ugly fears
like shitty footage of McMurphy
that they just found.
that they found of. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the purpose of that video actually was.
And that's fine. That's fine that we don't know.
No, it's not. It's not illegal to speak Chinese in a video.
Exactly. It's fine that he made that video.
It should be illegal to put a picture of Kim Jong-un behind someone speaking Chinese in a video.
And just let the audience make the inferences, man. We're not telling them that you're the Kuleshov effect, man. Just editing two things.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what the Kuleshov effect is, but edits make your brain make connections. It's on the people, man. I don't know where I'm going with this.
It's on the people, man.
God, I'm so tired.
This was a bad commercial.
Aesthetically, it's bad. Messaging-wise,
It
it's
looks
bad.
The whole message is just like, aren't other people scary? You should vote for me.
People
Look how
who
white I am.
speak, a language from the East. They're
East
dangerous.
Orientals.
I didn't want to say Orientals.
I'm saying it ironically so no one can be mad at me.
It's just an ugly fucking commercial in and out. Don't vote for Chris
Yeah,
Collins.
it's aesthetically ugly, and it's ugly to its very core.
It's based on lies. It's not even like a negative ad based on something that Chris Collins did on his record, like on his voting record or on his policy record. It's just look at this guy speaking an Asiatic language. Isn't that scary? You know who else speaks an Asiatic language? Kim Jong-un. So he's got to be rotten. Is rough. It's a rough commercial.
It's a bad one. Would you vote for Chris Collins based on this commercial?
I might. I have to see what his record looks like.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he really is into gun rights.
Depends on if he works with Democrats on DACA or not.
Yeah.
That's really it. That's really what I'm looking for. What's his record on climate change? It's probably not bad.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Yeah, he probably wants to mine all the oil that is clogging up the earth.
Yeah,
right? He wants to get it all out of the earth.
It's like on your face when you cleanse your pores. He's trying to cleanse the pores of the Earth's face.
You get all the oil out of the earth so that no one else can do any damage with it.
So you have radiant Earth skin.
Chris Collins, who's got radiant earth skin.
Don't vote for Chris Collins, guys. Vote for literally anyone else who's running against him.
Anyone.
All right, what we got next?
Next commercial is going to be called. It's called.
I'm letting you out to dry on this one.
Oh no, you're not. I thought you were going to do the harmonies. We rehearsed this.
Nope.
It's called New York 19. Who am I?
Alrighty, let's watch it.
And the Rockets,
That was probably worse than the last ad.
Yeah.
I thought the last ad was the worst political ad I've seen. This
Yeah,
was
just when you think it wasn't going to
just
get
when you thought they
more
couldn't go
racist,
lower, they went lower.
They went lower.
I
New York
took-
19, that's where New Paltz is, by the way. This guy's running against John Faso.
New Paltz College, and people who live in the New Paltz area in Poughkeepsie and that surrounding area, fucking
Ulster County.
vote for Antonio Delgado. What was I gonna say? Dan, take the reins on this one, please. I really don't want to have to describe it.
Okay, so this
This racist commercial.
this racist commercial opens with Antonio Delgado, who is an African American man. He's it's a clip from a speech that he gave at some point, I guess, and he goes,
think it's
"Who am I? I'm Antonio Delgado."
I think what happens is that it's a commercial that he put out, and intercut is... What do they intercut with the actual commercial for
They
Antonio
cut
Delgado?
with him rapping.
At
which
one
is-
point in his life previously, Antonio Delgado rapped.
Yeah,
And that's supposed to scare you.
it's very frightening.
Because he says the N-word,
Uh-oh.
and he says that criticizing is patriotic. Literally, that's one of the dangerous things that's intercut into this commercial.
Okay, so it's intercut with the speech that he gave. Maybe you're right, and they ripped that footage from an ad that Antonio Delgado put out, but they intercut it with scary footage of him rapping, and then at the end they go, "Oh, who is Antonio Delgado?" And they show a side-by-side image of him in a suit and him in a scary hood, in a hoodie.
The official uniform of black people who, when they get shot and killed by police, makes it okay for them.
The official uniform of black people in the minds of, like, white people
terrified
who
suburban
see black
Americans.
people, like, once a month
It's
at the grocery store and get freaked out.
It's a really, really...
It's a bad commercial. Yeah, and the thing is, like, the rap is so tame.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's
borderline wholesome.
There's one piece of the rap where he says sweating like a dude in a porno flick, which...
But that's not bad.
It's just a lame-ish
porno
metaphor.
flick.
Yeah, porno flick is
How
really
could you
lame.
get more wholesome than that?
It's the most wholesome way to describe a porno.
They also rip a little clip of him saying, "God bless Iraq, bless Iraq, bless Iraq, bless Iraq." But the thing is, they
I don't know
stole
where
that.
came from.
It came from him saying, "God bless America, God bless Iraq, God bless everybody,"
God bless America. God bless Iraq. God bless us all.
which is such a nice, positive message.
Yeah, I mean, the people who live in Iraq, I mean, they're just, like, citizens. They don't deserve to be bombed, necessarily. Like...
No, God fuck Iraq.
Jesus Christ, it's brutal.
It's just straight up
racist.
It's
pandering to the worst fears of upstate New York. He assumes racist. I'm assuming that enough people in the Poughkeepsie area aren't racist and will not, be scared by the fact that a black man exists and he raps.
Yeah.
I'm assuming people aren't going to be scared by that. Maybe they will, but in my heart of hearts, I believe that black people rapping isn't scary. That's what I believe.
That's... Can we live in a world where all people believe that?
No, we can't. Especially not in upstate New York, apparently. I mean, the fact that this... I don't know what PAC put together this commercial, but the fact that this PAC believes that they can put together that kind of commercial and have it be effective proves that
Well, the fact that they're probably right is...
I mean, whether or not they're right or wrong,
the sad
they think
part.
that they have a chance of being
Well,
correct,
the
and that
fact that
says all you
there's
need
at
to know about
least
this
a
culture.
possibility.
That it might work says all you need to know about the culture that exists up there.
Yeah.
Or the culture that exists in this country altogether. The fact that it might work, that grown adults with hopefully, like, brains that were capable enough to put together this commercial technically thought that, you know what, this could work. That's really damning. Even if it doesn't work, it wasn't wholly irrational for them to believe that it could work. That's the most damning thing about this commercial. Dan, what would you rate this commercial? On a scale of 1 to... fuck. A scale of 1 to fuck. 1 to porno flick.
I gotta give it a Bismarcky.
Oh, snap!
Because that's how wholesome the rapping was. Oh, you know what? No, I'm rating Antonio Delgado's rapping, not the ad. I gotta...
That is not wholesome.
I rate the ad a fuck.
Yeah. But the rapping is a Bismarcky, sure.
The rapping is... Yeah.
Went to fill out a visitor's form.
Man, like, the things they're attacking him for...
Are rapping.
Are rapping and wearing a hood.
And saying, God bless Iraq, out of context. That's it. This commercial kind of broke me a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm sad that I watched it, and I would recommend that no one else do. Don't watch it, guys. Is a sad one.
Yeah. Instead of watching it, go ahead and vote.
Yeah, November 6th. Vote. It's, if you work in a school district, in school, I know they give you the day off on November 6th. I'm not going in to teach that day. I'm going to be voting for whatever milquetoast Democrat's on the ballot. But you should too, because they're better than the Republican. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, all right.
And the man was still there.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. I knew I recognized that douchebag's face because he got owned by, I forget the Democratic candidate for governor in Florida. I forgot his name. But I saw that
I'll
clip.
look it up.
Dunks on Ron DeSantis' ass is very satisfying. This commercial, really disappointing.
It's Gillum.
Gillum?
Yeah, that's the Democrat running against him.
I remember watching Gillum dunk on him.
So this was a commercial for Ron DeSantis.
I will take it.
Go ahead.
Take the reins. This is one of the few positive commercials, and by positive I mean it's not slandering anyone.
It's not an attack ad.
It's not an attack ad, but God, is it toxic.
I mean, it's attacking my will to live in many ways.
It's attacking marginalized groups merely by existing. What happens is Ron DeSantis' wife she takes us
Casey. Oh, by the way, this commercial is called Casey.
And
it's uploaded by Ron DeSantis.
Okay, so I'm assuming Ron DeSantis' wife is named Casey DeSantis.
Yes.
So Casey DeSantis takes us through a day in the life of Ron DeSantis as a dad. And we learn that Ron DeSantis doesn't know how to hold a baby because clearly he's never done it before in his life.
I think this shoot was the first time he met his kid.
His kid?
He showed up on set and he shook his kid's hand.
His kid, by the way, kind of looks like a potato. He's in the baked potato phase of his toddler life. He's reading to his child from Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, which, by the way, bad book to read to your newborn, even if you agree with Donald Trump's policies. Just not really appropriate. It
doesn't have any pictures at all.
No, for a newborn, it's not really appropriate. He has his kid build a wall out of blocks. He puts his kid in a MAGA onesie, and he teaches his kid the word bigly, which is a very important word for a toddler to learn. It's really disheartening. It's just really pandering. What was the Camila Cabello, right? Camila Cabello, the
Carlos, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
The Republican who was running in Florida made a very concentrated effort to not appeal to one specific side. Totally the opposite from Ron DeSantis.
No,
really
Ron DeSantis is going all in
on Donald Trump. It's just really lame and really
it is
sad.
so lame. This commercial, I mean,
it's
there's so much racism and it feels like this commercial shouldn't piss me off as much as racism, but this commercial just pisses me off so much.
It's lame.
Because it's just...
It's got a higher production value than the other ones, and it's still super duper lame. And super duper, like,
when
generic... You've seen the political ads where they're like, you know only him by his policies, but I'm his wife, I'm the woman behind the man, and he's such a great dad.
But this is like that, but it's like, you know him for his regressive policies, but I know him for being a fucking shitty moron. Here's the side that you don't see.
It's even worse.
He can't think for himself.
He also doesn't know how to hold a baby or pick appropriate books for a toddler. It's just really sad and bad, and God, it's probably accurate of what right-wing dads look like.
Yeah, this is the dude who said that his opponent was monkeying up the race.
Well, was he black? His opponent?
I'd take a wild guess.
I'm gonna take the wild guess that he was. So, I mean, you can understand why he would say that. I'm being sarcastic. It's fucking racist dog whistle so thinly veiled that anyone can fucking understand it. It's just... so tasty racism is so... I hate it.
Yeah, when I was making the notes for these commercials and trying to get organized, the way that I remembered what this commercial was, I called it Trump bitch commercial.
He's really just bootlicking to such a sad extent.
Yes, it's sad. It's so sad.
It's like...
It's just him, like, fanboying out.
When a bully
so hard.
beats you up, and instead of being like, you know what? I'm gonna do everything I can to be better.
I'm gonna do everything I can to
be the bully.
Him.
It's really sad. And anyone who says, well, this is not who conservatives really are. I mean, yeah, this is the natural end game of what conservative politics will lead to. Just marginalizing minority groups and just pandering to racist fears and just...
Yeah, well, the degree to which, like, he and, like, in a broad sense, the GOP in general have fallen in line behind Trump is, like...
And Trumpism in general.
Is astonishing. Like...
It was such a quick turnaround time, too.
Right!
We're 2 years later, and...
So fast!
About 3/4 of the party is like, alright, he's the agenda setter now, that's fine by me. I will toe the line.
Yeah. Not just toe the line. Toe the line is one thing. Being like, oh, well, he's not a great man personally, but
I support his agenda.
We're at a time where the country really needs these policies, so it's time to put personal conflict aside and do what's best for the nation. No! This dude's like... Trump is barely literate, so neither should my baby be able to read. I guess I'm barely literate, too.
That sentence was poorly constructed.
Trump can't speak, and my baby shouldn't be able to either.
Just draping his child in Trump paraphernalia and making it seem like, even though we kind of understand that it's kind of tongue-in-cheek jokey,
but what is it making fun of?
It's not.
It's not a joke, that's the thing.
The joke is...
Like, it's a joke at whose expense?
I guess the people who'd vote for him's it's kind of almost poking fun at the people he wants to vote for him.
If it's poking fun of anyone, he's poking fun at himself. He's like, ha ha ha.
On the joke of how much I've shilled for Donald Trump.
Ha ha ha, look how much I don't think for myself.
Look how much I'm willing to shill and sell myself out. Vote for me, please. If you like Donald Trump, please vote for me. Which is a bad strategy, I guess, because he's a really divisive president, and his approval ratings at the time he was elected is much higher than his approval ratings now. Like, he's less popular now than he was when he won the presidency. If you're assuming that, well, Trump won based on this, I can too. I mean...
We're really hoping you're going to be wrong.
I am praying that I'm wrong. But who knows? I'm often wrong, so maybe... Who knows?
I mean, I think that this commercial does, like, a great job, like, demonstrating, like, something that's, like, a big difference between, like, the two parties. Can you imagine someone doing this with, like, Hillary Clinton being like, Oh, well, you sure know, like, not well, you know my
teaching their
wife,
kids to say
but did
Pokemon
you,
go to
but
the
did,
polls.
yeah, exactly, but did you know that my wife is also a wonderful mother? Like, only better Pokemon go to the polls.
Well, what else is iconic about Hillary Clinton? The pantsuits?
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Dressing your toddler
it's
in
not a
pantsuits?
great comparison because she didn't win.
Hillary Clinton wasn't a cult of personality candidate.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
She was trying to sell policy that you either agreed with or disagreed with.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, but Donald Trump was selling a feeling and a cultural movement and a cult of personality. And, I mean, most people tend to look past
Yeah,
words
and the
towards
feeling he was
posture and
selling
tone.
was afraid of black people rapping.
I mean, a lot of people are apparently afraid of black people rapping.
I mean, when he's wearing the hoodie, does he have ears? I don't know. Who
There's
knows?
shadow.
No
There's
one
shadow
knows.
cast on his eyeballs.
There's a little bit of shadow. Maybe he's balding in the back of his head. I can't see. Can you see? No. That's scary.
I mean, I think
He watched a porno.
I think the
at
more
least once.
apropos. I think the more apropos comparison would maybe be Barack Obama.
Right. Yeah.
He tried to sell a feeling and the idea of change and like outside.
That's true, but like no one was making these commercials as far as I know. I would love to see them if
No,
they
there
were.
were no Democrats who were really shilling.
Who were like, hey,
for Obama in that way.
look how much I could be a shitty caricature of this shitty caricature.
It's just a really baffling commercial, and it's really upsetting, and the fact that it almost seems to be making fun of people who would shill for Trump in the way that he is currently shilling for Trump.
Right, he basically made an attack ad against himself.
I mean, maybe we're just so far into the liberal bubble that's how we perceive it, but people who would actually watch it who are on the fence are like, oh, this
Would
guy's
they?
just...
They're idiots.
no idea.
If you're on the fence and you watch this commercial and see this guy say bigly to his kid, and you go, oh, okay, that's the one I'll vote for. You're a dummy.
It must
You're
have
a
been
dumb
focus.
idiot.
I'm assuming that it was focus group tested and that some people came out of it saying like, oh, okay, sure, why not? I'm assuming he's doing
yeah.
at least the bare
I mean,
minimum.
if you already love Trump, that's who this commercial is for.
I guess so. And then I'm hoping it does not convert any centrists.
I cannot imagine a world where that happens.
Dan, have you ever been wrong before?
Literally never.
Okay,
It's
so
crazy.
we're good. So we're fine.
Yeah, so 100%.
Dan, what would you rate this commercial on a scale of 1 to, I don't know,
On a scale of
1 to...
of DeSantis's respect for himself
Self.
to Bigley.
Sure, that's a better scale than I was gonna come up with. Rate your own scale. Hold on. By the way, can I just say that we have a terrible habit of not thinking about our scales before we go into asking about the scales.
No
At least
one's
I do.
asking us to make absurd scales.
I gotta really start. There's no reason I force myself to start asking you about a scale before I have a scale in my own head. I should probably make my scales before I ask you about them.
I rated a Ted Cruz.
Great. Thank you for shutting me up.
Yeah.
Rough commercial.
This
Ted
was a
Cruz
rough one.
squared. It is a... You know what? That's very appropriate. It is a Ted Cruz of commercials in that it's incredibly hard to watch and look
It's
at.
just embarrassing and
Just
annoying
embarrassing
and hard to watch.
ugly. All right, let's go to the next one, please.
All right.
Ay.
Okay, so we ended this one on a little bit of a lighter note.
We ended on a trio of commercials. What are they called?
So they're all uploaded by DCCC Video. D-triple-C Video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, you want
they're-
to walk us through them?
Yeah, they're the videos that have the hashtag GOP tax scam. There are 3 of them.
How clever. How
Not plan a scam.
Tax
It sounds a
scam.
little bit the same.
Yeah.
But that's why.
But it's different.
Haha.
So
Yeah,
walk us
okay,
through, Dan.
so these commercials all take place, they're all like comedy sketches.
Yep.
They take place in a boardroom.
Yep.
With a bunch of rich old white
Rich
CEOs,
reptiles,
and they're
yep.
all talking about how rich they are.
Yep.
And how little they care about poor people.
How they care about the proles, not at all.
Yeah, so these were written by Ben Wexler, who's from Community and Arrested Development.
I was gonna say, because they need to hire comedy writers because this wasn't funny. These were not funny. These were really lame and totally the embodiment to me of how lame Democrats are sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had their moments. There were moments that I think we both genuinely laughed at.
I did not laugh once. I thought the moment where two rich guys were doing like...
Well, doing like a hoedown with each
yeah,
other.
that
That
was a
was
little
very
bit
cringy.
cute. Oh no,
Oh,
I
you
thought that
like
was one of
that?
the funnier
Okay, so we have no common ground on these commercials.
Because that was like... I don't know.
They took it up to 11.
That felt like really like very clearly this is not how anyone would react in this situation. Like no one has ever done a hoedown before.
Something that made me laugh is when the big CEO gets his bonus. The sound it makes when it hits the table is pretty funny.
Bonus check!
I didn't even get it. If I recall correctly, it lands with a thud.
Yeah, it's a pretty loud thud. But yeah, I mean, it's not.
They're not really funny.
It's not groundbreaking comedy.
It's pretty lame. It felt really lame.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
It felt like it came out of the DCCC.
I mean, yeah. I wonder why. Well, it's just like...
They're cringy.
Like,
The entire thing is
it's cringy, and it's, like, maybe a bigger problem is that, like... God, Democrats have so much to run on.
They have so many good
They have so
ideas
much
that
to
things
run on.
like. That people
But, like, it's just... People are dying, you know? Like, people are dying. And there's
I don't understand.
this comedy video.
I understand why they picked it. It's because when people are polled, they say the number one thing they care most about is healthcare. And that might be because the news cycle talks about healthcare more, and like maybe the Democrats are the ones who are actually setting
Yeah,
the
and
policy
these
agenda,
commercials
and that's why
do hit on healthcare a little bit.
it's exclusively like the GOP tax plan advantages wealthy people at the expense of the poorer people who don't get their health care. That's what it was to me. And, like, I think I am of the opinion that healthcare is only the thing that people care most about because it's the thing that Democrats talk most about and what the mainstream media news talks most about.
I don't know. It's also a thing that keeps a lot of people from dying.
I agree. Like, it is super important. Like, one of my girlfriend's family members does not have health care because she's turned 26 and only works part-time because that's all she's employed as, and so she doesn't have health care, and she has a pre-existing condition, and not having health care when you have a pre-existing condition that could send you to the hospital might lead you into like back-breaking debt forever, or you choosing not to go to a hospital to avoid that back-breaking debt, and that might make you even sicker and kill you. It is really important, and the fact that some people are too poor to live because they can't afford healthcare is devastating and should not be, and healthcare should be a basic human right. I agree. However, I am of the opinion that like there are so many better things to make commercials about.
Well,
so many
even
easier
commercials
grand
about
slams.
that you could, make in a better way
Yeah,
that has
not
like an
ha, ha,
actual
ha, ha,
point
ha.
and like a policy plan and
Yeah.
solution and explanation for what is going to happen.
It does make it feel like the Democrats, the DCCC, is kind of treating it like it's a thing that you can make jokes about, when for a lot of people it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sort of...
It's a real issue for a lot of people.
The thing is, the rich people are sort of like the heroes of this commercial.
They're
not like heroes, they're clearly flawed, but we sympathize with them much more than we do with the poor people.
Because the poor people
Or
are...
we see it from their point of view.
I feel like
more.
the poor people are made to be like awkward and grounded in a way that isn't fun.
Yeah,
like the rich
they're
people
awkward.
are fun.
Well, I think this commercial is laughing at poor people.
A little
Because
bit.
one of the parts that's played for laughs is when this woman is talking about how she has like rheumatoid arthritis and how she like really can't afford health care and how it's really putting a huge burden on her and her family. And then this woman bursts in with bonus checks.
Yeah.
And everyone ignores her. And that's a funny part of the commercial. So like it's just
similarly
muddled.
when
It's just a weird message.
similarly there's a part where like they treat one of the poor people as just like an end table, and like one of the comedy things is like towards the end they cut to another poor person who's a coat rack, and it's funny like, oh, not only do they have a end table, this guy's also a coat rack. Haha.
Right.
It kind of is. It doesn't do what the producers does in turning Hitler into a mockery. It doesn't like turn the rich people into a mockery. It kind of is just comedy where the main characters are rich
Flawed.
people.
Which, is Arrested Development and Community.
That's true. And Arrested
Those are
Development,
comedy. Like Arrested Development, the main characters are all like rich people
idiots.
who are idiots and terrible, but we're
but
supposed
they're
to.
idiots. These
But
rich
we're
people.
supposed to love them.
But these.
And same thing with Community. It's a group of friends who are all like deeply flawed in many of their own special ways. But
Yeah.
the point of the show is to love them, despite their flaws. And it feels like the point of this commercial is to love the rich people, despite their
flaws.
their hilarious
They're not
flaws.
made a mockery of. They are meant to be. Not even laugh.
They're not meant to. We never
Not
laugh
laugh at
at the rich people.
No.
No. We're laughing with them.
Yeah.
So, like,
Even though they're doing detestable
comedy
things,
sketch-
it's not framed as detestable.
yeah, as a comedy sketch, it's fine. I think it was okay.
I thought it was pretty cringy.
I think it had moments that were funny. I'm not saying it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
No.
As a sketch, it's fine. As a political ad,
They're really
You know,
kind of bad.
it's yeah.
And really just super emblematic of how the Democrats and the DCCC
It also makes it seem like really
put their feet
yeah.
up their own high knees all the time.
Right.
They're just fucking idiots. And if you want to know why Donald Trump became president while, like, espousing radically unpopular ideas, it's because the DCCC is just full of nincompoops.
Yeah.
Uninspiring
A lot of
nincompoops.
nincompoops all around, I have to say.
Not that Wexler is necessarily bad. A lot of people like Community, but just...
Ben Wexler.
Ben Wexler, excuse me. Wexler went to New Paltz, I think.
We might have to bleep that.
Sorry. But not that Ben Wexler is necessarily a bad comedy writer, just his styling super duper are not suited to this kind of commercial. Like, you want to get... I'm trying to
Well,
think.
I just don't think comedy is suited to this sort of commercial.
I disagree. I mean, I will bring up the producers again. You can make a mockery of people who are detestable, and you can mine that for comedy, but, like, if you want to talk about something that, like, is truly life or death for a lot of people, you have to have the best comedy people who have, like, thoroughly thought this out and, like, taken pains to get it right. And no offense to Ben Wexler, I feel like the DCCC just paid him, he got this done in a week, and then they went to shoot it.
How would you make this comedy commercial differently?
How would I make it differently?
Yeah, what do you think sort of comedy does lend itself to,
It
like,
needs to-
convincing people that no one should be dying because they don't have enough money to treat...
The main characters should have been the poor people. You need to stylize the rich people to a point where it's kind of like stylistically absurd. It needs to have not a grounded aesthetic. Like, the lighting here was super flat. They were dressed like modern people. It needs to be more absurdist. It needs to be more pomp and circumstance. I mean, I'm thinking of the producers. They literally lampooned Hitler with a musical number. Like, it needs to be just off the walls bombast absurdism with, like, grounded main characters who you're meant to empathize with. That's the avenue.
I
to
just
take.
don't think there's any room for that in, like, a
30-second
minute-long political ad.
No, I agree. There's a way you can do
That's
it.
a TV show I might watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is not the route you take. You're asking me how I make comedy out of that, not how I make a political commercial out of this.
Yeah.
Make it not funny.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Is dumb, is bad, and is not effective. Is not an effective commercial. It's just cringy and maybe offensive to people who are actually, like, on the margins. I'm lucky that I'm not. Even if I wasn't on the path to having, like, a government job with, like, healthcare benefits, I'm still super young. I'm young enough to be on my parents' healthcare plan. That's not a problem for me. But I imagine if I were someone who did not have healthcare and watched that commercial, I would feel like, oh, this is uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, we're two super privileged dudes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't want to explain it. I don't want to explain why this might be uncomfy to people for whom this is uncomfy, but I imagine it might be. I imagine it might be really in poor taste to certain people.
Yeah, I guess looking at the commercials we examined broadly, it seems like Republicans are not holding anything back. Like, they're just really leaning into racism.
Into Trumpism.
And just into Trumpism.
Into
racism.
reactionary fascism.
And in response, Democrats are being
Milk
really
toast
bland.
And unconvincing.
Just
and,
super bland.
And just shooting themselves in the foot like they always do. Nothing changes. Democrats just run on your good ideas. Run on, like, popular ideas. Run on the fact that people like you. That the majority of people are Democrats. That you have won all 3 of the past popular votes for president. And even so, 3 of the past 2 presidents have been Republicans. Run on that shit.
Or called Ted Cruz Ted.
I mean, that was a good commercial. Alright, Dan, what would you rate this commercial on a scale of 1 to Community? Because I know you love Community.
I do love me some Community. On a scale of 1 to Community, this is gonna be controversial.
Alrighty.
I gotta give it a Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What does that mean?
It's okay.
Give some context.
I don't think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is that good. I think it's watchable. I think it's alright.
I love Andy Samberg. I think he's super charismatic.
I think
He's
Andy
funny.
Samberg's super charismatic too.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a super groundbreaking or funny show.
I don't know why I'm offended by... I'm not offended. I don't know why I'm upset by
I don't know
that.
why I'm so offended. I kind of want to kick your ass. I'm not sure why, dude.
Meet me in the parking lot at 7. I watched the first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and
too.
really liked it, but I just never returned to it, so I guess it didn't do much for me if I never returned to it, but I liked what I saw. I really liked what I saw. I'm just not someone who's gonna, like, watch too many TV series. I hope I come back. You know what I really liked? I like Barry a lot. I finally saw all of Barry.
You guys gotta vote.
Vote and shut me up.
Listen, I'm probably gonna upload this like the day before November 6th, hopefully.
Please, please, please vote. Please vote. Even if you vote for Republican, I know I've been shit-talking Republicans. Just vote. Have your voice heard.
The thing that motivates me is there are so many people, so many old people who have been voting their whole lives. And you, if you're young, you have a chance right now to go and cancel their vote.
Oh, yes.
There's
yes.
some crusty
Cancel
dude.
boomer votes.
There is a crusty dude or lady who's a little bit racist. You know, she tells stories.
They go to movie
and she always
theaters.
mentions the race of the people even when it's not important to the
They
story.
go to movie theaters and they keep talking a little bit too loud. They think they're whispering, but they're talking too loud, and they keep asking, what did they just say? Who is that person? And they really ruin your experience of watching First Man starring Ryan Gosling, directed by Damien Chazelle, and just make sure that they don't get what they want.
They're rude people. They are mean to waitresses and waiters, and they order stuff that's not even on the menu.
That too.
And then they send it back and
How
ask
dare
to
they?
talk to the chef.
Like, when I get something that didn't taste good, I eat it like a fucking adult.
When I get the wrong order and I'm allergic to it, I eat it.
and swell up like a goddamn
Because I'm
helium
Texas
balloon.
tough.
I'm for Ted Cruz. Oh no,
I
I'm
know.
for Beto O'Rourke.
Okay, but there are those people, those old crusty people, and you have a chance to go and make their vote not count.
That's the best thing.
And you should do that. And if you're planning on voting and you want to do something else but you don't have money, convince a lazy friend to vote.
Or
It's not cool. I know it's not cool to be like, hey guys, we should go and do our civic duty. But you gotta make your lazy friends vote.
even if they tell you, oh, it doesn't matter, they're the same, they're really, they're not the same. Tell that to someone who's transgender and just saw their, identity legislated out of existence. It's really not the same for a lot of people on the margins. And to say that both parties are the same is kind of a privileged statement. And don't say that to your friend if you want them to stay friends with you, but, find a more diplomatic way to say that. Maybe. voting is important. Both parties aren't the same. Your vote does matter. Because there are some counties where, like, the vote is separated by only 500 votes. That's really not that much. And your vote does influence that election.
Yeah, this is not a presidential election. This is super, super local. And local races, doesn't take many votes to swing them.
And you know where? I know that, like, the Senate, not a lot of bills get passed, but a lot of people on the ballot this year are for state legislation, or for your state, like, Senate and your state house. You know where bills get passed? At the state level, at the local level.
Yeah, and you know where elections get run and like voter laws get decided? That's all local. That's all the governors.
These races are less sexy than the presidential election, but when it comes to the nuts and bolts of it, are probably more important. So please vote. Please negate the votes of those crusty boomers. Get out there. Bring your friends. If you want to do more than vote, canvass, phone bank. If you have money, maybe donate it. Although, I mean, like, if you don't have the money, don't donate.
Yeah, but if you do have money, Act Blue makes it super duper easy.
Yeah.
So go to Act Blue and you can just donate like $10 if you want to.
If you have $10, yeah. I mean, if you want to just, instead of buying donuts on your way home from Penn Station, maybe donate some money, Jake. All right, Dan.
All right, you gotta vote.
Vote, please.
Please
November
vote.
6th.
Please fucking vote.
Bye.
And the home of the free.